Well, Andrew is digging his heels in. I read in the Times today, there's a bit of an update, and he is determined to see out his lease. He is not budging. But I did read a really interesting thing, that it's not actually King Charles that has the power to ask him to go. It's the Council of the Exchequer. And King Charles's sort of role is only to persuade and suggest. So that was interesting. I also found out that Andrew does get compensated. If he goes, he gets paid back pro rata. The money that he paid for the renovations, he gets paid back pro rata. So if he left in the first year, he would get his whole $7.5 million back. And if he leaves in year 20, he'll get about $1.5 million back. So plus he gets FrogMore Cottage for free. He gets an annual little, bit of pin money to buy his teddies. And, he'll be quite comfortable. Charles is going to pay for his security. The only thing he doesn't have is a flagpole. And Andrew likes his flagpoles because he likes to raise his standard, the Duke of York's standard, when he's in residence. Well, that was when he was allowed to do that, when he was a working royal. Maybe they could build him a nice little flagpole in the back of Frogmore Cottage, a little private one the public can't see, and he can... I'm going to read your comments because I'm too silly. I'm going to read your comments. Okay. Carol G says, Andrew is only 63. He's beginning his last trimester of life. Moving will feel like a fresh start, a new identity to leave his old life of divorce, disappointments and mistakes behind and step into a different place and life. This move will be the best thing for Andrew. It will hurt at first because it's a change that he didn't initiate or have control over. But if he sees it as a wonderful gift for a fresh life, he will embrace it. I think Charles may be a loving and wise older brother. Oh, Carol, that's so beautiful. It's so great you can see things in such a positive way. I don't think that Andrew will quite see it that way. I think it would take him a little bit longer to see it your way, but it's a very positive attitude. Wonderful. Asia Jack says, if he can't afford the upkeep, he should go. But if the reports are true, Charles should speak with Andrew and not send intermediaries to handle this. Yes, that's true. It's always better to talk to people face to face and be upfront rather than through other people. I agree. Jasmine said, would enjoy a chat about this. Great. I think Andrew should go. He's not able to maintain it. Yes, there is that proviso in the lease, isn't there, Jasmine, that if you can't maintain it, that breaks the lease. He's one person, two if you include Sarah, his ex. Sorry to interrupt your comment, Jasmine, but does anyone know the real thing about Sarah and Andrew? I got when they were living together, when the kids were there, when they were littler, because I thought, oh, well, they're just co-parenting, their friends are co-parenting. And I actually thought that was lovely and a really good idea, particularly in sort of the royal atmosphere. I think Sarah would have kept the girls a bit more grounded. But I don't get it now. The girls have moved out. Are they together or are they just mates sharing? What's the deal? And don't you think that Sarah would be better off just away from Andrew and the royal family? And, because she's a successful author. She's got her own money now and she's got a life. And I just sort of think that maybe she'd be better off meeting someone nice just to go out to dinner with. And I think she'd be happier away from all the royals. That's my viewpoint anyway. So Jasmine continues, he has no need for a home that big. How silly and pretentious he appears by not moving out, and that should embarrass him. But he was social friends with a major creep. Ooh, she went there. So I guess it takes a lot more to embarrass him than his behaviour over the house. Yes, Jasmine. A woman of principle. I have made a video about Andrew's less savoury activities and I'm quite harsh. So I'm keeping that out of this video for me because I don't want to lecture and preach and everything. I'm not suggesting that's what Jasmine was doing, but that's why I'm not going there. So, but don't think that I'm ignorant of it all, because I have made a video about it. But I just want to sort of keep this a light community chat. And that's fine. I appreciate Jasmine's comment. Jen, I wonder if they keep Andrew around to keep him mostly quiet and to keep him from writing a book. Can't have Andrew just running amok. No. And Jen, if he did write a book, I have a feeling that Sarah would be the ghostwriter because she can write. Now, that would be a book I would like to review. I don't want him to write it, though. I mean, I think Paul Charles has had enough. Rensky, he needs to go. Everyone has to downsize if they can't afford where they live. Yes, Rensky's very practical, and that's, yes, I can understand that viewpoint. Auntie Bex, oh, now that's a juicy topic. Aside from the royal angle and the sibling angst angle, merely the topic of how to get someone out who is refusing to leave is of great interest to me. Is it fair to Andrew, as it's been his family home for 20 years? Well, that's true, and it's where his girls grew up, and yes, I think everyone, can feel sympathy for that part of it. Does anyone care what's fair to Andrew? See, that's the dilemma, isn't it? Will the king forcibly remove him and change the lock, send the bailiffs in? I think at this point, after all the terrible accusations of the last few years, Andrew would be better off accepting the downsizing graciously. Yes, I think so too. But one thing we've learnt about Andrew through his awful interview is that, guilty or innocent, he thinks he is a person of the utmost importance. I doubt he'll be going anywhere without a huge tantrum. Teddy in tow. She didn't say that. I added that bit. Sorry, Auntie Bex. The teddy in tow. Okay, Roger Martin says, go and do as your king has commanded. Yes, Roger. I agree. I think. With Sunday Sailing says, go. If my brother offered me a multi-million-dollar recently renovated home, I'd collect those keys, put the bubbles on ice and bow. But with Andrew, it's more about his dented ego and the size of Royal Lodge. Yes, have you seen the size of Royal Lodge? I looked up the photos before I did this video. It is stunning. It is very grand, very palatial. I can see why he's reluctant to leave. It's just, it's amazing. Okay. So she's saying that, the size of it clearly matters to him. It's not like he'll be personally packing the silverware, glasses and teddy bears. Just go. Ma Susanna Noon says, just thinking, 7 people. Oh, no. Andrew, Fergie, Will, Kate and the 3 kids. Oh, no. Can't fit in a 30-room house. How much space do Andrew and Fergie need? This fight is about status, not about housekeeping. Well, I wouldn't inflict him on William and Catherine. I think that's a horrible idea. Just horrible. Hi-Fi says, if you're a monarchist, you have to obey the king. Pack those bags, Randy Andy. The guest says, go. He was his mother's favourite. Reality has to be harsh. Not feeling bad for him, though. Take care and have fun. Thank you very much, the guest. Now, I'm going to read a few little shorties. Goodwill Bunny says, if he stays, we shall be entertained. Well, we will. There is that. I mean, it gives us a lot more to talk about, doesn't it? Angela Renman says he has had many opportunities in life. He had his gifted house but sold it. Yeah, true. Hangers-on will grimly grasp until death or a sharp knock. Yes, that's true. They did have the other one, didn't they? And they had to sell that to pay out all their silly things, all Fergie's debt and all the trouble that they had. The Habbo Wiz said he should go. He's been offered FrogMore. The Queen protected him for too long. He's learning some consequences of his actions. The train wreck of an interview he did really showed how protected he thought he was. I bet he's sweating now. That was a very cheeky last little comment there, referring, of course, to Andrew's defence that he doesn't sweat, so that's why it couldn't be him with Virginia Roberts Giuffre. Helen Pace says, he needs all those rooms. Where are the teddy bears supposed to sleep? Talking about teddy bears, I'm glad you mentioned that. The doco, where the protection officer's talking to the documentary maker and saying that a housekeeper had told him, who had become a friend of his, that Andrew had a plan for the teddy bears on his bed, and that the housekeepers had to actually put them back exactly where they were on this plan and exactly the right distance from each other and everything, or he would have an absolute tantrum, crack it, and make them do it again. Like, what is he, 5? It's just very strange. I mean, I don't know I'm even whispering, I'm so freaked out. I don't know any other grown man, not in my world, who would behave that way. I mean, I know grown men that have their childhood teddy, that they've kept, and, it might be in the corner of a bedroom or something cute, or up on a shelf, and it's a story and it's a memory and it's lovely. But a whole lot of teddies, and they have to be put back every day the same way, it's a bit weird. Let's just call it what it is, a bit weird. And then I'm just going to read one final comment. This is one I noticed from Anne Beaver. She said, the king could buy out the remaining contract. Well, there is that. But I think it would cost them an awful lot of money, because he's got 75 years left. And if they're thinking the pro rata amount is £300,000 a year for paying back the renovations, I don't know how they would work that out. I think they thought, actually, they did say that the value of the rent for the whole period was going to be 2.5 million, but he ended up not having to pay it because he paid more for the renovations. So I guess you could divide the 2.5 million by the original length of the contract, and then that would give you how much that he would get paid out. So it would still be a tidy sum, Anne, and it would probably be affordable, but I don't think the king wants to pay out his contract. I think the king just wants him to go. And Andrew should remember that FrogMore Cottage has a floored yoga studio that they built for Meghan Markle. And look, at our time of life, Andrew, you need to maintain your flexibility, love. You need to get into that yoga. It might calm you down a bit. All right, thank you so much for your comments in the little chat, and I'll be back to have another one very soon. Bye.